Hello, everyone. Welcome to Qubitro's Coffee Talk series. Today, we are having a special guest, Alper Yeğin. He is a CTO of Actility. Alper, can you share a little bit about yourself and your background and your current role at Actility?
Sure. Thank you, Ilayda. Thanks for having me. So, my name is Alper Yeğin. I'm the CTO of Actility. Actility is a founding member of the LoRa Alliance and a permanent board member, also a co-inventor of LoRaWAN. In Actility, we have two main products. One of them is ThinkPark. ThinkPark is a LoRaWAN, actually it's an LPWAN core network, not only driving LoRaWAN radio, but also cellular IoT radio. It's used by public operators and private enterprise as well. Nearly half of the public LoRaWAN operators are powered by Actility's ThinkPark platform, and countless many enterprise networks as well. And in addition to the networking platform, we also have the trackers. LoRaWAN trackers, ABWay brand is our own brand. These are LoRaWAN trackers, and very soon we're also adding cellular IoT connectivity as well. We have different form factor trackers and also a module, and they are heavily used in both nationwide public networks and private networks on campus-wide settings as well. And in addition to Actility, I'm the vice chair of the LoRa Alliance and chair of the technical committee as well. So LoRa Alliance is the non-profit international organization in charge of building the LoRaWAN technology, certifying the end devices, and building an ecosystem around that. And the technical committee inside this organization is the group in charge of building the global interoperability specs, standard specifications of the LoRaWAN technology.
Oh, that's super cool. As we all know, today's topic is LoRaWAN. And why is LoRaWAN so important technology in the context of the IoT?
Yeah, so when we look at the Internet of Things, actually, there are several technology components that play into a full solution that involves sensing technologies, the hardware platforms used for building the end devices, connectivity, networking, and data management, device management, and applications as well. So among this large space of technology components, LoRaWAN is in the connectivity space. Now, IoT has been around for many, many years, even more than 50 years. So it's not really a new technology, even though the Internet of Things name is relatively new. It had some other names in the past, like M2M, MTC, things like that, sensor networks, etc. So connectivity, we always had one or another connectivity technology being used already. What is really special with LoRaWAN is actually manifold. One is it's very low power. It is as low as in the order of what you do with your garage door opener. So if you think of that, a garage door opener wouldn't require a better replacement for more than 5, even 10 and beyond many years. And that's what we get with LoRaWAN as well, the same level of low power consumption. The second one, what's special with LoRaWAN is the long range, typically tens of kilometers, but in fact, it can even go beyond 500 kilometers. That's how we're able to place LoRaWAN base stations on the low Earth orbiting satellites to provide connectivity to devices in the most remote areas of our planet. And the third is using unlicensed band, much like the Wi-Fi. Using LoRaWAN does not require acquiring limited and super expensive licenses, which, for example, GSM has that additional constraint. And because it uses unlicensed band, people are able to build LoRaWAN networks at a very low cost, and the technology is accessible to anyone, whether they want to deploy this technology at home or covering nations and even the whole continent. So because of this very special set of capabilities we have, and it's very unique, no other technology has the equivalent of what we are able to achieve using these features. LoRaWAN is very key to enter the next phase of IoT, which we call massive IoT. So even though IoT has been around, like I said, more than 50 years, the new phase we have been gradually entering, is the so-called massive IoT. That brings IoT to every corner of this planet, and being able to serve all sorts of form factors and price points and availability, things like that. And this is that's the real promise of IoT, and it's the final stretch to make IoT a reality in terms of making it ubiquitous and pervasive all around. So that's why LoRaWAN is playing a very critical role with the set of features it presents to the market.
Wow. I didn't know like that. So in your experience, what are the main considerations and the factors that business should keep in mind when implementing the IoT solutions other than the challenges?
Yeah, I mean, on that front, what I'll provide is somewhat cliche in the sense that, all the usual things you would expect from any other connectivity technology, one would expect from implementing IoT solutions as well. Like low cost, having end-to-end solutions availability, reliability, security, scalability, future-proofness, support, and all that. Now, I'd like to add one thing which I would say is very unique to IoT, which is fully understanding, for the prospect, for the customers who are going to use IoT, fully understanding their own need and fully understanding the capabilities provided by IoT, and also understanding the alternatives, which are not always limited to IoT. That is very unique to IoT. The reason being, we have a very wide range of use cases. So unlike, let's say, cellular or Wi-Fi, where the use cases are very typical, it's either you're browsing the internet or you're messaging people, watching videos, or doing voice over IP calls, things like that. There are only a handful of use cases with the typical communication of human beings. But with the IoT, the need of, say, there are so many use cases like tracking, smart industry, smart city, and all that. And then when you dive into every one of them, you get like tens and hundreds of different use cases. Even if you were to take, say, tracking as a seemingly single use case, it is not so. Whether you're tracking a cat or a dog or a cow or a car or an airplane or a backpack, they're all very distinct. And then whether you're tracking a cat in the house or a cat in the wilderness, even that is very distinct. So because each case is very unique, unfortunately, there are really no well-established templates for the prospects or the customers to read and get educated to fully understand what they need and how to achieve that. And it does require effort from those who are going to use the IoT solutions, as much as it does require effort from those who are providing the solutions. So that's the challenging element with the IoT. It's very wide area. It's quite fragmented and requires many things to come together, and it requires extra effort from those who are going to use these technologies as well.
Actually, my next question was about that. What are the key challenges that need to be addressed for wider adoption of LoRaWAN in IoT applications?
Yeah, in terms of the adoption of LoRaWAN, actually, the technology is ready and the products are ready. So that's exactly what we see in the market. We already have exponential growth in terms of adding new use cases, adding more devices, and creating more traffic and creating more business out of them. So the number of public networks, the nationwide networks, are increasing. Enterprise private deployments are increasing, and they keep adding. Each one of them keep adding more gateways, more devices. We see public operators enlarging their footprint within their own countries and also entering neighboring countries as well. So, and despite that, there's still a pretty good room for growth. And currently the bottleneck is education, really, the learning curve of the market. Again, flipping to the prospects and the customer side, the customer needs to understand what exactly they need. It starts as like, oh, I need IoT, which is like very superficial, all the way going down to, here's the use case, these are the constraints, these are the environments we're going to be use these solutions, and this is the longevity of the solution, things like that. Understanding that is what's really I wouldn't say slowing us down, but like reaching, another order of magnitude acceleration. And that's exactly what we're working on today. We have numerous use cases that are successfully deployed in the market, and now we're replicating them. Obviously, we'd like to accelerate the replication rate itself, and that's the bottleneck at the moment is educating the market about what they need and how to achieve what they need, and to understand the technology and the products. That's what's taking relatively longer. But as we move forward, as the market gets more familiar with the current success stories, which are not only propelled by the companies like Actility itself, but also our larger LoRa Alliance ecosystem, the pace is it keeps picking up. But at the moment, is somewhat of a boutique activity that we need to do closely working with the customer. And yeah, that's what I would say. That's our current challenge. It's not the technology, it's not the availability of the products. It is the pace that the market is absorbing these offerings.
So my next question is, with the advent of 5G, how do you see LoRaWAN coexisting and complementing other connectivity options in the future?
Yeah, so like I said before, where we really fit in is providing a low power, long range connectivity technology. So when we say that, let's also look at what we don't deliver. One of the things we don't deliver is so-called real-time communication. And by that, what we mean is providing guaranteed delivery within milliseconds latency. And the kind of use case that would require this type of real-time communication is things like, say, doing a remote surgery, having the surgeon being in one state and the patient maybe like an ocean away in another state, and then remote controlled, say, a Da Vinci surgery machine equipment operating on the patient. That does require millisecond latency, and LoRaWAN does not do that. That's not something we provide with LoRaWAN. And the other thing we don't provide with LoRaWAN is large bandwidth, high throughput, like delivering megabytes of data or gigabytes of data, where, for example, if you are streaming video or even audio, we do not provide that either. Delivering kilobytes of data in a day, that's what we can do, but not megabytes and gigabytes. So for that reason, there's always complementary technologies in the field to fill in such gaps. Like that's what 5G provides. Major throughput, super low latency in a limited campus-wide deployment, like industrial 5G. That's where 5G comes into the picture. So imagine a factory floor where you need to monitor the health of machinery. You can very well use LoRaWAN. But then if you like to, say, have video monitoring, you would not run that on LoRaWAN. You would need to run that on 5G radio or Wi-Fi. And that's where they would be complementary. It's always been like that. We always had numerous wireless communication technologies. Some come, some go, and they're always complementary. There's really not a silver bullet that, one size fits all. And LoRaWAN has its role squarely defined and very well implemented, and it's going to be like that for the foreseeable future as well.
The next question was about the future. Are there any notable advancements or developments in LoRaWAN technology that we can expect to see in the near future?
Yeah, right now, actually, we are seeing some of those already with acceleration. One is providing connectivity through satellites. In our ecosystem, we have a number of satellite operators like Eutelsat, like Kineis, like EchoStar Mobile, and the new ones coming like Helospace, Planes, Lacuna, and they provide connectivity in the most remote areas of the planet Earth using base stations mounted on the satellites. Some of those satellites are in low Earth orbits. These are like 500 to 600 kilometers above the ground. And some of them are geo, which are like in the order of 20, 30,000 kilometers above ground, like EchoStar Mobile does that. So we see an acceleration on that front. There'll be more to come. And then relay is another technical feature. Even though we have long range, obviously physics has its limits when it comes to extending, going beyond the limits of the physics. That's what we have recently standardized in the LoRa Alliance, the relay feature, to have a multi-hub connectivity to stitch together LoRaWAN links, so we can have a range extender for like going underground or like going around the corners, or for providing connectivity to a sensor indoor with a satellite where we're lacking a line of sight and instead relying on a relay node outside to make one hub before landing on the satellite in space. And then the other thing we are already implementing, and we'll be seeing more of that, is the interworking among the technologies. So like our product ThinkPark, it already not only serves LoRaWAN, but also cellular IoT like Narrowband IoT and LTM. So we have been already converging different technologies to provide a portfolio of connectivity solutions to the market. And recently, like 2 months ago, we have also done an integration with Sigfox. So Sigfox networks can operate with LoRaWAN core networks through our peering platform called ThinkPark Exchange. So there's this convergence happening in the market where different connectivity technologies are blended together to provide a whole solution. And the customers can provide, whether it's a public operator or private network, they can provide different options to different use cases without having to implement totally disjoint systems, which makes things more manageable, low cost, and easy to deploy. So we're gonna be we are seeing that already, and we're gonna be seeing more of that moving forward as well.
We talked about LoRaWAN's future, but let's talk about IoT's future. How do you see the landscape of IoT evolving in the coming years?
Yeah, I mean, if we were to talk about the connectivity part of IoT, like I said, IoT has many, many different faces. On the connectivity side, we're going to be seeing more wireless technologies coming to the market. There are already things like LTRS, MyOT, some other older technologies still lingering, like wireless MBUS, things like that. There will even be more entering the market. But actually, while we see new entries, we'll also be seeing consolidation among them. The number of technologies actually will start shrinking. So I mean, at the moment, it's increasing, but I would say within like 3-4 years, we're going to see the numbers going down as the market starts to mature further. And so that's one direction, one dimension. In another dimension, we're going to be seeing more integration among products. Because IoT requires numerous components to come together, the integration burden on the customer, it's not scalable. That's exactly why companies like ours and also others in our ecosystem, they provide solutions pre-integrated, like integrating, say, base stations with core network, or integrating secure elements with the end, or integrating, say, solutions with connectivity, things like that. We're going to be seeing more and more such pre-integrations to reduce the pain of the customer onboarding such solutions. And in parallel with that, we are already seeing consolidation in the market in terms of companies joining together as well. So especially in the current economic situation, the consolidation will accelerate for the next couple more years as well. So both the technology consolidation, product integration, and also company business consolidation is what we are heading towards. Now, regarding the IoT, the hype is behind us because now people are really busy with a lot of other things like AI. Prior to that, like crypto, blockchain, space tech, big data, etc. Our hype is behind us, which is a good thing, right? Now we still have a great momentum, and at the end, the hype all these other technologies are say enjoying. They need us. They need connectivity. They need to get the data out of in the most remote areas for AI, for space, and for everything else. So our momentum continues, driven by all the other technologies that we've been interacting and serving. And in parallel with that, the IoT use cases will continue to diffuse into our daily lives. Actually, it is happening all the time. Now, it'll just keep happening. Most probably, we won't have another hype peak that's behind us, and market will have something else to get excited about. Nevertheless, we will continue our spreading our technology as an enabler for numerous things. And one of the things we keep improving both in the LoRa Alliance and in Actility is the plug and play. So enabling a device should be as simple as just turning it on. Now, in the future, what we'll see is LoRaWAN becoming a utility, just like electricity, just like water, right? So you turn on the tap and then the water is running, or you have an equipment, you just plug it into the wall, it gets lights on. The same thing we'll see happening to LoRaWAN, becoming a utility. You'll go and buy a device from the market. Say you're a consumer or a B2B, you buy devices from a distributor, and then you'll just turn it on, or maybe remove that small plastic isolator, and then the moment it comes up, it'll get connected. So this is what we are heading towards, to turn LoRaWAN into a utility, and we are on a great track to make that happen. And as such, it will be ubiquitous and pervasive, and it'll be part of everyone's lives without even naming it. And that would be the true success of IoT powered by LoRaWAN.
Wow. My questions are done now, but what I understood from what you said was like LoRaWAN will be super powerful in the future. IoT will be every step of our lives, and we can expect very exciting things about it.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for today's conversation. My questions are done, but if you want to add anything, you can.
Well, no, that's all. Those were really great questions, and thank you, İlayda, for giving me a chance to have this conversation.
Oh, that's our chance. I'm really happy to do this with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, İlayda. Take care.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.